you something, and I want you to really think about it. When did you decide that running a business meant that you had to figure every single part of it out by yourself? Because somewhere in between, I have an idea and why won't my checkout page work? A lot of solopreneurs picked up this belief that needing help with the tech means that they're behind or that they're not cut out for it or they're just bad at business. And that is just not true. You are not bad at business. You are just doing a job that isn't yours. I have been doing tech setups and backend builds for online businesses for 10 years now. I work at Kit, the email platform, doing migrations. I've moved businesses into new systems, and I've built backends for coaches and course creators, service providers, membership owners, basically the online creator community. And here's what I know after all that. The people who are the best at their actual work, the coaching, the teaching, the writing, the designing, whatever it is, are almost never the people who are great at tech. And I don't mean that like if you're good at this thing, then you can't be good at tech. Like that's absolutely not it. But if you're good at this thing and this is your passion, why are you spending your time on tech? I feel like everybody should have a pretty broad understanding of how the tech in their business works, but I think on the whole, if the tech isn't your area of expertise, if that's not what you're passionate about and what you enjoy doing, then that shouldn't be what you spend your time learning. You should be spending your time talking to your audience, teaching them the thing that you teach them or supporting them in the way that you support them, not worrying about whether your tech is set up right and running the way it's supposed to. And that's because it's genuinely different skills, right? Like somebody who teaches guitar is not going to be the same person who can necessarily set up checkout pages to link to email lists to make sure that the product gets delivered. Like they can know that skill, right? But that's not what they do. They teach guitar. Their time should be spent teaching guitar, not worried about whether their checkout page is set up. But the online business space does this thing where it tells you that you have to learn all of it. If you don't know how to set all of this up, then what are you even doing here, right? And we see this in all of the major courses and things like that. And they sell it in a way, set your whole business up, and I'll teach you how to do all of the tech and everything. And that's fine, I think, on a very basic level. But it really is difficult to learn all of that on a level that you need to really grow and scale a business, especially if you're working a full-time job on top of it and trying to create the content and or support clients with what you actually do. So trying to set up the funnel, the automations, email sequences, checkout pages, email delivery, like all of that stuff it can be a lot, especially if you're super limited on time and you're trying to actually learn how to do it, not just set it up because it's something you already understand. I hope what I'm saying makes sense. But here's what I really want you to take away right now. You don't have to know all of that before you call yourself a business owner. I'm just gonna throw that out there. So here's the reframe that I want to offer you. And you can take this and do something with it right away. There are 3 categories of work in your business. The first is your zone of genius. This is the thing that you actually do. This is the guitar teacher. This is the branding coach. This is the YouTube strategist. This is the website designer. Get where I'm going with this. The sourdough bread maker. This is that. This is the thing that somebody actually pays you for. Your offer, your content, your expertise, the one that nobody else can do the way that you do it. The second category is the stuff that can be learned, templated, or systemized. This is content batching, email writing, like the showing up consistently part. It takes time, but it's doable. And a lot of it does have to be done by you because you have to have your, face and voice in the content. But it's one where once you kind of build that muscle and you get like a good, calendar and workflow to creating and doing that side of the business, kind of the marketing part, really, it kind of becomes like a second nature type of situation. And then the third category is your infrastructure. Like this is the platforms you use, the automations, integrations, anything that makes everything run in the back end. And this is where a lot of people get stuck because they start seeing automations and integrations and those words and they're like, oh, I don't know how to do that. Like I don't know how to connect MailChimp to Squarespace or Kit to Squarespace or Thrivecart to Squarespace. Like I don't, whatever your website builder is, whatever 2 apps you're trying to connect. It can sound scary if you don't already have an idea of how that works. And this isn't something that people get stuck on because they're not smart enough to figure it out. Like you can figure it out. Google exists. The AIs exist that can usually answer these questions. The answers are out there. YouTube exists with all of the answers, most of the answers, but it's genuine technical work that takes time to learn. And when you're building on nights and weekends with maybe like 2 hours of energy, maybe after a day of work, if you're even lucky enough to get that, spending those 2 hours fighting with your checkout page is not really a good use of your time, is it? So let me tell you about something that happened recently. I was doing some back-end work for a client. They had realized that their POS system had stopped syncing contacts over to their MailChimp account. There was no error message. They just realized that people were not getting emails or text messages when they sent out, special offers and sales and that sort of thing. So now we have a whole list of customers in the point of sale system that are not moved over to their email system. So we fixed it. It was a simple enough fix. We did a manual import to move everybody over from the POS to MailChimp that had not been automatically moved, cleaned up some contact data, mistyped emails and that sort of thing, and got everything talking again, and we're good to go. For them, that could have taken hours of Googling and YouTube videos and maybe support tickets between their point of sale and MailChimp and whatever. But for me, it just took a couple of hours of making sure that the content that was coming out of their point of sale was the right kind of content to go into, or data rather, not content, to go into MailChimp, that it was formatted right, that the addresses were corrected that were typoed, and an import, and then checking the connection to make sure that it was right. I was only able to do it that quickly because it's something that I look at every day. I know where to look, I know what questions to ask, I know how to, I know what a broken sync looks like and where the fix usually lives. And if not, I know how to find the answers. And that's kind of what I want you to take out of this. Okay, I'm not special, it's just what I do. If I wanted to learn how to bake sourdough bread, like, I would have to go to somebody who knows how to make sourdough bread and learn from them how to do it, because it's what they know and they do it every day. And going to them would save me tons of time of Googling and trying to ask questions and figure out, and why is it rising and why is it not rising and why is it goopy instead of being fluffy or whatever. I literally know nothing about bread, but I think you get what I'm saying. There are people who do this work every day, who know the platforms inside and out, who have seen the problem that you're looking at 27 times before, and you are allowed to hand those problems and questions to those people. You don't have to earn the right to get help by struggling enough first. That's something that I really had to learn myself. Now, I do want to be clear about something. I am not saying to outsource everything. I touched on this earlier. I'm not saying that you don't need to understand your business systems at a basic level, because you absolutely do. You should know what tools you're using and what they do, but you don't need to be the one building every single automation or troubleshooting every integration or spending your Sunday afternoon inside your email platform trying to figure out why the sequence isn't sending when it's supposed to. There is a version of your business where that stuff is handled, where you sit down for 2 hours and you actually get to work on your business, not fixing something that's broken behind the scenes. You can work on your content, you can support your clients, you can create a new product, something that actually moves you forward, instead of spending it on the infrastructure stuff that someone else could set up in a fraction of the time. That version is available to you. And here it is, because you knew it was coming. This is the kind of stuff I help my clients with in a Fix My Shit session. It's 90 minutes. We go through the thing that you're stuck on, the thing that's stuck or broken or not working. Or even if you just have something that you need set up real quick and you don't want to hire, you don't need to hire like a full retainer tech person for your team, like, we could probably work it out in this session as well. It can be something like the checkout page isn't working, or you need a new checkout page. The email sequence that isn't triggering, or you need a new sequence set up. We get on a call, we fix it, we set it up, and you walk away knowing how it works so you can manage it going forward. You also get 30 days of email support afterwards in case anything pops up. I'll have the link in the description if you want any more information about that. The solopreneurs I know who are actually building something, they're the ones who got really clear on what their job actually is. Your job is your offer, your job is the relationship with your audience, your job is showing up and doing the work only you can do. The tech is supposed to support that job, it does not become your second job. So if you've been sitting on something that's broken, something you've been meaning to fix for 3 weeks, something that's been standing between you and actually launching, I want you to think about whether struggling through it is actually the move. Sometimes it is. Sometimes you want to learn it and build it, and that's valid. But sometimes the best business decision you can make is to hand it off to somebody who does this every day and get your Sunday back. I hope you found this useful. I hope it gave you permission to stop staying stuck in this struggle. If you have questions about your tech, feel free to pop them in the comments, and I will see you next week. Bye.